What's happening, mate?
How do you mean?
Well, it's not exactly kicking off, is it?
Oh no, it never does. To 8 o'clock!
Sets up Larsson here. Larsson, oh, he's in! Henrik Larsson! That is sensational! O'Reilly, how about that for a pass? Jota! How about that for a finish? That is Jota for you! In for Henrik Larsson, and Rodgers! His first goal for Celtic! Here is Shunsuke Nakamura! Exquisite!
Good evening, all, and welcome back to the Celtic Unrestricted View. I'm JP, and joining me in this fine Tuesday night is my good man, Mr. Ryan Clifford. Well, Ryan, it's been a weekend of misery for Celtic. Lots of stuff's happened, mate. And not to mention, we also lost a game of football in there as well, mate. So, hope you're well. Hope you've had a nice weekend, barring the Celtic result aside. And it's good to be on with you again, mate, for a wee chat.
Aye, all good, mate. Weekend was all good, apart from obviously not really used to getting beat away the last kind of few years. So when you do get beat, it's a bit of a sore one. But I think was it expected? Maybe say it could have been. Maybe before obviously the Friday show, we were all positive, expecting a good victory, expecting a reaction, and we got a reaction, but it wasn't a reaction we wanted. So I was looking at some new motors after the game, but turns out I didn't get a new motor. So we can touch on that as we go along, mate, because I know it's something that we're going to speak about, and I think a lot of fans are want to touch on it as well. But like you say, mate, we praise the team when they're good. When they're bad, we still need to come on and dissect the game and go through it, mate. So it's just a date, mate. But all good, mate, apart from the result, and hope you're well as well, mate.
Thanks very much, mate. Well, I want to get this here and done with it now. The other man that predicted a kind of similar scoreline, he's not with us tonight, Barry Bannon. He's refused to come on. He's in hiding, as far as I know. His old manager's now signed with the enemy as well, so he's definitely in hiding. But I sat with my silly big boy entitlement the other night, and I said on the podcast that it was going to be 5-0 to Celtic. Jesus, Johnny, I don't think I've ever been wrong. If I could have jumped in a car and drove with one of the most off-track sat-navs you could probably find to put in the car with me. So I want to say I'm sorry about that. I massively get that wrong. And it just goes to show that you really can't. That's a big wake-up call for me personally, because I let my self-entitlement get the better of me. So I just want to say I apologise for that. Barry Bannon, if you are watching me, man, hang your head in shame for not being able to come on and do the same. So we will be expecting you at some point to come in and do the same. But hope everybody's well that's joining us across the platforms. Hope you've all, apart from the result, had a great weekend. We'll come to some comments as we all. Our good man, Mr. Theo Isaac, good job. He always puts that in. Chris Murray, evening, boys. Good evening, Chris. Hope you're well. And Jem as well. Evening, JP, Ryan, and the chat. Plunge, good evening. Hope you're well. Big Grab, evening, gents. Tickle Feather Machine. Oh my goodness, man, they're getting even better after YouTube. Hail, everyone. Sligo boy, hail, hail, all. P. McLaughlin with the photo of a young person there with Gordon Ramsay's hand-me-down uniform on there, by the looks of things. Fair play. But hearing wee whispers that Lawwell was going to be away at the AGM could be shite, though. Could be, well, definitely. And Big Scotto, there we go. Good afternoon, boys and girls from Mexico. Just drowning my sorrows with tequila from recent performances. By the way, he's talking about performances in a bedroom. He's not talking about performances at Celtic there. He's talking about different performances. Aye. He's talking about Pam and her 5 sisters there, isn't he? That's what he's giving us. Tell you what, Ryan, we must be doing something wrong, man. A big man's stuck in it. The Scotto, man, he's here in Mexico. We're in the wrong duty, mate, telling you.
I'll need to, I think I'm going to need to be getting the subs up, mate. I'm slacking here, I think, with the looks of it.
We'll need to see if we can get Bonnie Blue and that to start tuning in with you, man, and see if we can boost that somehow. She needs to become a Celtic fan. She's used to taking a pumping.
I know.
We'll know.
Instead of the bang bus, the Hill bus, the Bonnie Blue Hill bus.
Aye. The Howl bus, we'll call it.
That'll be
Barry Boy 40 says evening all. Barry Boy 40 says evening all. I just want to know why Barry Boy 40's got a photo of Gaza before he went into training one morning and holding 2 big trout up. Look.
That's my way to get moting. Big moting. That'll moat.
Aye. Barry said we'll get well-fired rolls for Christmas this year.
Aye.
Wally Bird. No way, that was expected. Fuck's sake. Oh well. I'm not sure if he was meaning Big Alan talking about his own performances there or talking about something else. I'm not too sure that he's meaning there. Here's Kaiser as well. H Legends. I don't know if that means Hurry Legends or maybe he's talking about Alan there because he's in Mexico. It could be Hotel Legends. Who knows, right? We just sometimes we don't know. With some of these comments. James Knowles, he's put in the comments, he says maybe 5-0 on Thursday, mate. To be fair, I don't think Strum Gratz will score that many. I've got to be honest, James. I can't. As Big Alan would say, I can't beat around the bush for that one, you know. But 67 Kevon says, where do we go from this pish display of Celtic football, peeps? Well, it could be worse. We could be supporters of other teams, definitely. You never know. Well, Plunge just came up with a great one. We could start calling her Bonnie Green. She would need to, if she crossed the divide, I'm afraid she would need to change that name, definitely. 100%. David Grant says, typical Celtic 70-odd% possession against Dundee and didn't know what to do with it. The chances Dundee got and they took them. Well, that's the thing, Ryan. You look at the game and it was a game, I mean, as I said earlier, mate, I predicted it to be 5-0 to Celtic. We're all thinking along the lines as international break, here we go, Celtic are going to click into gear. And then all of a sudden, we don't. And we have went up there and we were so flat again. so slow. A lot of our play was predictable. What do you think's the cause of it, mate?
There's a lot of reasons, I think, mate. Manager, players, fans and the board not getting on. That's just the full club now is not in harmony. And there's reasons behind it all. Like I says, I'm for some of the stuff that we're doing and things like that. So I'm not sitting here saying that I don't agree with it, because some of it I do. So players are not performing, that's one thing. We can obviously touch on the manager as well, and I will touch on him as well. I know you will as well. I know the commenters will as well. But first and foremost, mate, when you're on that park, the manager doesn't finish chances. The manager doesn't put balls across the box. The manager doesn't kick the ball at the park. The manager doesn't defend set pieces the way we did. The manager's no marking his man. That's the players on the park. The manager can put tactics and he can put anything he can, training during the week. But as soon as you cross that white line, it's you. The manager can only help you so much for side of the park. You're on the park, and nothing's changed. It's the same way of playing. It's the same back and forth, back and forth. There's no direction in terms of going direct. It's the same subs he's making. He only goes to a 2-up when he really has to. No, even just a bit of freshness. It's like, all right, that's just 2-0 down now. Now we'll go 2 up front. It's a 1-0 down. Now we'll go 2 up front. It's just not right now. The full club for me, JP. There's a lot behind the scenes, obviously, no right, and obviously the managers now came out with quotations, and then you've got the players coming out and saying now that we need to do better, and like I says, Casper and McGregor during the summer, we need this, we need that. Listen, I'm massive on the manager getting a lot of blame for the last few weeks as well, but most people who played football, let's be really honest here right now, this is just my opinion, right? I never played football for my manager. I played for myself, my teammates, want to do well, want to win. I didn't play in front of thousands of fans at Celtic Day, but that's part of it as well. For me, you don't sit in a dressing room and go, right, I need to win a day for my manager. That's no. You win for yourself.
No, but a manager can motivate you, though, surely, with speeches and everything else.
But you don't walk through the door at Celtic Park and go, right, I'm winning a day for Brendan Rodgers. I'm winning for myself, my teammates, the club. And they're not doing it. Now, the manager can put on training sessions and formations and tactics. That is involved in it, and we've all touched on it. I know we've spoke about it. That's got to get really looked at as well. But the simple is, the players are not performing. KT, sitter, go to score, no matter if he's left foot or right foot, whatever it is, go to score. Defending's poor. That's on the manager. Players passing sideways, no basically this attacking style of play, but they're no doing it. The message is, for me, JP, it seems to be that it's no getting across right now. Now, this has not just been for the last few weeks. This has been for, you could probably say maybe March, middle of March onwards. It's been like this. It's here, not be good result here and there, but for me, mate, I don't know, we can obviously touch on there as we go along about, but there's a lot for me that goes on the players as well, but the manager as well, like you mentioned as well, the motivation for the manager. He's pressed at the end. It's like, where's enthusiasm, Brendan? Where's it? I'm not saying that you need to be a shouting ball outside the park, but there's nothing. You're just sitting taking notes. Like, help the players. So for me, it's a full collective, and the full collective need to get it sorted.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Ryan, but I just get the impression that Brendan Rodgers is coming across like a spoilt kid just now, who's through his toys at his pram. To me, that's what he's been like since the summer. Since he's not had the players in that he wanted, and by the way, let's not beat around the bush, as I said earlier. He's been subsidised, in my opinion, pretty well, considering it's first team players I'm about to mention here. Guys like Kieran Tierney, Benjamin Nigren, Tenetke, Balak Wisha, Sriracha, they've all joined this group. And you could rhyme off other names that have been part of the team and part of lots of success with this team. Now, I understand there's players in the team who want away. There's maybe players in the team who want to face new challenges, etc. But that all being said, mate, until that's facilitated for you, or until that then comes about, If your wages are going into the bank every month, you've still got a duty to do. Now, Brendan Rodgers he's got a 3-year contract at Celtic, and he's not finished his 3 years yet. And not part of that negotiation in his 3 year would there been any sort of talk about I'm only going to sign this 3 year, but I want this, and this. Not a chance. No way. So see what you said there about lack of enthusiasm, Ryan. That can't come into it, mate. That cannot come into it. That can't come into play here. Because to do it, you're getting paid. I think one of the commenters put it in whether it is a 3 million salary. I've heard this numerous of times. But if it's a £3 million salary per year that Brendan Rodgers is on, or anything close to that figure, I'm sorry, mate, but he's not doing his managerial duty at the moment. I understand there's feelings all around the club, right? And I understand there has been feelings all around the club from over the transfer window to now, right? We also failed to beat Kairat Almaty over the 2 ties, and we get knocked out the Champions League qualifiers. We've also failed now to win my last 2 games in the Europa League. We've got 1 point from the 2. We're going into our 3rd one on Thursday night. We've been beaten now for the first time domestically, and it was a game, Ryan, where Celtic never even looked like winning the game, in my honest opinion. Now, you can hang on to these small things and Hatate this and Kieran Tierney scored there. The reality is they didn't. And I feel when you've got the manager doing what he's doing and he's telling the players, you're not good enough, because that's more or less what he's doing with his messages he's sending out, mate. He's more or less saying that he's not got what he wanted. Now, by the way, that being said, and I've said this today in another conversation I was having with someone else, Brendan's been heavily backed since he's come back to the football club. He's spent over somewhere in the regions of 50 to 60 million quid in his time back here. That's a lot of money. A lot of money for any team coming out of Scotland. That's a lot of cash, mate. Now, I understand that we can't shop in the bigger markets like the English clubs can. For Christ's sake, Liverpool are spending 100 million quid or over on one guy. It'll probably take us a couple of years to get anywhere near that. I wouldn't even say it's stubbornness. Good evening, Daniel. I hope you're well. I wouldn't say it's stubbornness, mate, because he's an experienced coach now, Brendan. He's been around the block and bought the T-shirts and moved on and went to different challenges. I wouldn't even call it stubbornness. I just think mentally he's maybe checked out a wee bit. And he's took the huff. Now, I'm afraid, Ryan, at Celtic, mate, you cannot do that. You cannot take the huff, mate. Because if it was that easy, mate, we could all do that. You know, we could all just go about life doing that. I guarantee, mate, see if me and you weren't performing in our jobs, we'd be taken into an office, mate, and taken down a disciplinary route. So see, because these guys are earning top dollar and they're doing a different type of job from your different jobs that are out there for people. I wouldn't degrade anybody by telling somebody their job's not the best and whatever else, but by the way, I know how good a manager Brendan Rodgers is, and not 1% of me sitting here just now forgetting anything he's done for the football club. But I'm afraid you're still under contract, Brendan. You're still paid to do the job. So, is he doing that just now? Not for me, far from it. Obviously, he makes some comments, Ryan, after the game at the weekend. And this isn't the first time he's made comments either. I've got some audio. I've got the audio of it for anybody who maybe didn't get a chance to hear his comments. The clue is obviously in tonight's heading on the YouTube, what he did say. But I'm sorry, Ryan. We'll come to this in a wee minute. But when you start saying stuff like this and having digs and how's that going to give any of the team get up and go? Now, I understand the team suffered as well in terms of injuries, and we've lost players, and there's still a player out there that we've not replaced in Nicholas Kuhn. There's still a discrepancy in that position. But not just Brendan Rodgers. For me, there's things going on in the hierarchy that I feel the decision making that they're making is not the best for a football club, Ryan. And you can see that Brendan and the hierarchy have maybe had a falling out over some of it. There you go. Mark's even saying the same thing. There you go. The board have chucked it. Good evening, Mark. Hope you're well. Yeah, well, in this current form, I do agree, definitely. So this is why this needs to be addressed just now. I'm going to play the audio from Brendan that I felt was really alarming, Ryan, at the weekend. And I'm afraid, mate, this doesn't wash with me as a fan and a guy that goes to the games. Because see if I done this or I said this in a normal workplace, mate, you'd be right out the door. You would be. You would be right out the door. And in my opinion, you run the risk now of losing the dressing room. So I'll play the audio and we'll get the thoughts on it.
As you can imagine, bitterly disappointed with that. We had enough of the ball and enough into and arriving into the areas often enough, but we just failed to show that bit of quality that allows you to get the goals that you need, and that's where we've suffered up until now. As I said, we lost a lot of firepower, a lot of goals out in the team, and there's no way you'll go into a race and be given the keys to a Honda Civic, and as you take off, say, I want you to drive it like a Ferrari. It's not going to happen. So until something changes, I have to find the solutions, because, like I said, goals, speed, everything has come out of the team, and we need to find a way to be better. I just said that this is where you really have to be a man, you know. Because at Celtic, it's great from the outside when you look in and you're winning trophies and playing great football, but you got to deal with pressure, and also the resultant performance today isn't good enough. You know, it's not acceptable for Celtic. You know, I've come here numbers of times, numbers of years, and that today is not the level. So we have to find it.
Now, like I says there, Ryan, before I played the audio, Brendan has been subsidised pretty well, in my opinion, when he brings in people like Kelechi Iheanacho. Now, this is a guy that's played for Brendan under his tenure at Leicester. He's then brought in like Balikwisha, who we spent £5 million for. He's brought in Teneke, we spent £5 million for. We bought Negrin for £2 million. He's brought him in. He's brought Kieran Tierney back to the club, who, by the way, won't be on chocolate buttons for wages. Albeit people are going, we never paid any money for him, JP. We did in the long run because we've had to give him a contract. And a 5-year contract. And like I says, chocolate buttons won't be his wage packet. So we've brought in all this as well to the football club. Ryan, see a message like that, what does that tell those players? What does that, if you're one of those players sitting in the dressing room and you hear that pressure, what are you thinking of? What's going through your head, mate, when your manager's saying something like that?
Well, touching on one or two comments you made as well about obviously being backed. I'm not backing him up here because I'm not going to criticise him a lot, to be honest with you. But he is right in a way. The first 2 years he's been here, he's been back to a degree, right? And we've been successful. Won a double, won a treble, that's right, isn't it? Double, a treble?
2 doubles.
Treble. Treble, sorry. 2 doubles.
Two
sorry.
doubles.
I was talking about, that was Anne's, sorry. So won 2 doubles, right?
We've won that many trophies, Ryan. You're losing count. That's the problem, mate.
Won 2 doubles, qualified for the Champions League, nearly not booked by me, and nearly got to the obviously the latter stages of that phase, right? So when it has been backed in terms of money, no matter what you think of Ida, Engels, Trusty, Palmer, as much as we can, with in a few weeks we can touch on all these transfer windows. Some of the players that he signed in the first came back no good enough, right? The recruitment's no good enough, but we still had enough to win doubles. It said just enough to get to the line, right? So when he's had money in a line been backed, we have been successful, no matter how you think about the players. As a collective, we've done all right, right? Now, when Neil Lennon in the COVID season, when we were only backed, Lennon spent about 13, 15 million roughly, I think we go on. We failed that season. We got about 13 million this year. It's not a lot of good so far. So he has been underbacked this year. As much as I'm going to go into slag him, no slag him, we'll slaughter him, shall I say, or criticise him. The club has been under facilitated by the board and the hierarchy, because a club like Celtic to spend £13 million and expect to go on fire in all fronts. It's absolutely Looney Tunes, by the way. Forget about the players here and the manager for 2 wee seconds. For Celtic as a football club and a business and organisation to want to go and progress in every competitive aspect, League Cup, Scottish Cup, League, Champions League or Europa League, whatever it is, you can't spend £13 million. It's just not going to happen. I know Olympiacos, I think they spent about £10 million and they won the Conference League, but that's the Conference League. That's no challenging for the Champions League, Europa League, and it's a different kettle of fish, but they've already got decent players for that league. We had to progress. We had an absolute open goal to qualify for the Champions League. Again, no disrespect to Almaty, because they've beat us, so fair play to them. And me and you spoke about before, we came on there to get our first point tonight. But that was an open goal for us. That should be a shoe in, no matter what anybody thinks about. I know you're talking about entitlement, JP, but it's no entitlement. It's what you see and what you feel about these players and what you know they can do. But when they start churning these performances out, you're going to go, right, have they lost the spark? Have they lost the magic? Have they lost this, is it an end of the arena? Is it an end of a cycle that we need to know?
I see what you're saying there about the 13 million quid, right? We spent just over 10 million more than that last season on 3 players. And the fans are saying they weren't good enough to play for Celtic. One of them isn't even raised anymore.
Aye, but that's what I'm saying. Forget about how good you think they were or they weren't, right? They added to the team as a collective, and we won a double, and we nearly knocked Bayern Munich out. We got I know it's more games, but it's our biggest points total in the Champions League. It was our best performances in years.
I know what you're saying there, right, in terms of Europe, Brian, but we should be good enough to be beating teams like Kairat and Dundee.
No, 100% no, but what I'm saying is, the club has, as Mark said as well, it seems, I don't know if the board have chucked it or they've got something against, is it something with Brendan? I don't know. But the club has been under transfer wise. It has been, right? But on the comments for Brendan, I really don't know why he came out with that. A guy at his level, a guy at his experience, he's basically publicly saying that the players are no good enough, that he's been left with players that either didn't want, or players that maybe it was his third or fourth or fifth. Lackeys, if you want to call them. Don't disrespectful, but that's the way he's putting that across. You're giving me the keys to a Honda Civic when I should be getting players to make my Ferrari go. Well, between the players, the board and the manager, Celtic should be the Ferrari of Scotland. Celtic should be the highest car you can get in Scotland. We shouldn't be talking about Honda Civics or Pintos if that's the way he wants to go. We should be, again, the Ferrari, Celtic and Dundee, they're the Honda Civics, right? Realistically, no entitlement. With the squad of players we have got and the way Dundee are playing, we should go to Dundee and come out with a win. Performance would have helped, but a victory. And like you mentioned, JP, there was nothing telling you we're going to score. Ian Nacho, I know he slipped, but he's got to score.
Ryan, we didn't even look like scoring. It didn't feel like we were going to score, Ryan.
So, but nah, if I'm a player, to be fair, players already act different, JP. Some players might go, I'm not going to swear, but all right then, Mr. So-and-so, I'm going to go and prove you wrong. Let's go and do this. But some players might sulk and go, I'm not playing for you. I'm not getting love off of you. I'm not getting this confidence. So, again, this is why you've got to gauge your squad. Some guys like a cuddle, some guys like a bit of the bum, some guys like a bollocking, some guys like to be told how good they are. And he's basically come out in public and says they're no good enough, which do that in dressing room. pointing them out in the dressing room, say if it's Callum, Nacho, Scales, Vickers, whoever it is, McGregor, whoever it is, call them out in the dressing room. Don't give the media, don't add to the fire. Obviously, we touched on it slightly, right? There was a tennis boys, right? There's already the form for the team. And then he's saying that after the performance, it's just adding to the negativity. All you've got to come out and say is, look, it's not good enough. We need to keep working hard, whatever you need to say. But don't put more things that's going to add to fuel to fire. It's going to get us talking. It'll get the media talking. The players will be talking about it probably themselves. So he's got a big job on his hands now, mate. Because in my opinion, if we don't beat Sturm Graz, don't care. If we draw, doesn't matter. For me, you're out of Europe probably. If they beat half of Hearts, you go 8 points behind Hearts. Hearts for me are then favourites for the league at this point in time. To get Celtic, because 8 points is a massive gap. I know you still need to play them 3 times, you still need to play Rangers, but they'll beat Rangers in 5 games, 90 minutes in all competitions. So how can you be confident you go to Celtic Park soon and beat them? You can't be on this form. They'll get a boost for Danny Rowe coming in. Dent McKinnon saying this, the analytics is unbelievable. So he's got this is where he earns his money, Jake. This is where I said to you as well all day, an hour and all night. See if he gets sacked for Celtic, mate, he's finished. Nobody will touch him.
I've got to say, Phoebe, man, it's a job well done tonight, man. We've got our good man, Lawrence Shanklin's good brother there, Thomas, has joined the chat tonight. He says, too right. He's loving it, Ryan. He's loving every bit of it, pal.
No, Thomas, look, listen, enjoy it, mate, because listen, we've seen Leicester do it, so I'm not going to sit here and say it's not going to happen.
I've also got somebody else in the comments, wee man, telling you to shush. There we go. Ryan, you're rambling, man. Unless you say it better. From Willie.
Cheers, Willie. Cheers, mate.
On his sign there, it says Rangers might cry. I think Willie's sitting crying when he's watching us.
He's got a massive job on his hands now, mate. He's got a massive few weeks ahead. Massive 2 games, in my opinion, and then semi-final. So 3 games, mate, it could shape your season and it could shape his Celtic career. Because if he, again, I'm not saying sack him. I'm not saying that because he's still got a lot in the bank, credit in the bank. He's still got a lot to obviously do and obviously go on with. But if we don't beat Sturm Graz, mate, and maybe beat half the Hearts, and then we potentially could beat half the Rangers, I think he's finished, mate. I really do. The fans won't have that, mate. Celtic can't be 8 points behind Hearts out the cup in October. No, if that was Rangers, we'd be laughing at them. Oh, look at that mob. Oh, they're in crisis. If we go 8 points behind Hearts and out the semi-final, we're in crisis mode. And these players need to step up now. This is, see, let's put, I'm not about to say they've not been challenged, right? But they've no, but apart from maybe a few games last year, Brendan's first time, right? For a few weeks they were under pressure, Clermont, and they come in, get a few points ahead, we claw it back. They've never really been behind a lot in the last few years where they've had to go and win the games and they've had to go and chase. So this is where these players like McGregor's and maybe your Tanetki's now and your Arnie Engels's, your Vickers, your Schmeichels, AJ's, Tierney's, this is where they step up now. This is where they earn their money, and let's see how they go, mate, because they've had a lot of criticism the last few days and they've got to go and put it right. But on Brendan,
do you know what? I look at it in a couple of different ways. Another way I'm looking at it is, do you know what? I'm really happy that we've got this situation and scenario. Not the fact that Celtic are losing games, that's not what I'm meaning. See the fact that we're not getting things we're in why? Because we've had that now for the last decade. Realistically, apart from one season. So I don't know. I'm up for a wee bit of scrap. I'm up for it. Whether the Celtic team are up for it, will remain to be seen. But I'm up for a wee bit of a scrap. I don't mind that. I don't mind a bit of fight. I don't mind a wee bit of roll your sleeves up stuff. I'm up for that because that was me as a player when I played the game. I used to love stuff like that, and I don't mind that. I don't mind a wee scrap, and I've been wanting a challenge for teams from outside of Glasgow. See if that challenge is going to be Hearts, and we'll need to deal with that as it comes. I personally feel Hearts don't have the squad capable to go a 38-game season and continue winning and winning every game. They're not. It's just not possible. And if they do, then by the way, I'll be back on here holding my big guns up again, saying I got that one wrong. But I'm going to put my neck out a wee bit now and say I don't think Hearts will do that. But I want a challenge. I want a battle. So, and I think a lot of the Celtic fans and even guys that I've spoke to, and I've had a laugh with them, and I've said the same thing to them. I think you're frightened. And a couple of them all looked at me as if, are you mental, JP? And I said, I think you're scared. I think you're scared that the prospect of Celtic might lose the league. I think Celtic fans seem to be scared. We've won it for that long. We've become accustomed to being top dogs. And as much as it's no a direct, it's not a direct thing, you know, self-consciously, I think there's that wee bit of entitlement to think nobody else is allowed to win this league. Nobody else is can win the league. And it's like a kind of how dare you attitude. Whereas I'm a wee bit like, no, I know Celtic aren't going to continue winning the league for eternity, regardless of what we are, the finances we've got into. That doesn't come into it when you need to do things right on the park. And if you don't do things right on the park, then no, you will lose. You will lose. I'm no silly enough to think Celtic are going to just continue winning for all the rest of a time while I'm here. It's just not going to happen, man. It doesn't happen anywhere else. So why is it going to happen here? It's no reality. So yeah, I like a bit of scrap. And you are right, Ryan. Hearts are playing well. Thanks very much, Thomas. I'll give you my address, mate. If you stay on at the end, you can come and tell my missus the exact same thing you've just said there in that comment, mate. All the Celtic fans with some sense. Sure, my missus would have something to say to you, mate. But aye, thanks for that, pal. But no, Ryan, I don't mind. Don't mind this. Don't mind a bit of scrap. Really don't. Because it makes for a better CV day and you manage to be successful and you manage to get on that podium at the end of the season. Now, Celtic fans are already writing us off going, don't think they will. Playing the way we did on Sunday, we definitely will, nae. Mark my words. But are we going to continue playing like that? It's really hard to see. I listened to Charlie Mulgrew on Go Radio the other day, and that's what Charlie says, and Greg Taylor's on talking to the lads tonight, Michael Stewart and that, our good friend, and, you know, a couple of them have said that there's just far too much in that changing room now. Eventually it's going to click. My dad was saying this to me the other day, I know. Some of our football is there, as much as we're not winning games, we're not scoring the goals. But eventually, Ryan, it's going to click, mate, and somebody's going to be on the receiving end of doing. Now, Thomas, I'm sorry to say that, Steve, pal. I know you're in the comments tonight, but I hope it's Sunday for a couple of reasons. But I hope it's, you know, I hope it comes at a crucial point, Ryan, where our players can stand up and be counted. You mentioned names, mate. Guys like Casper, Callum McGregor, AJ, Cameron Carter-Vickers, even boys like Rio Watati. Now, see, last season, we broke the goals record. We scored that many goals. But the difference was we had guys bang on form. Guys like Big Ida scoring domestically. Guys like Maeda, he scored 34 goals last season. Nicholas Kuhn scored over 20. Big Ida scored the 20s. So we had guys scoring goals from all over. This season, it's not happened yet. Because there's a lot of unsettledness. There's a lot of unharmony. There's just a lot of things happening that there's been a lot of noise coming out of Celtic all summer, Ryan, and it's led to this point, mate. It's at the beginning of the COVID, it's went the same way. There's still plenty of time, mate, for us to change and get it right. But I think, you know, I do think it will flip, Ryan. You talk about Brendan Rodgers, mate, and I still believe in him. I still believe in a lot of these players. The new boys have still to show me what they're all about and the longevity of it. Aye.
Cheers, Thomas. Enjoying it.
I hope it is, Thomas, to be fair.
Thomas, remember when it's 9-0, mate? Come on Monday and say hello.
Aye. When the boy Braga gets sent off for trying to stick your head on big scales, just come back on and say hi, don't be hiding, don't be a stranger. But no, Ryan, I've not totally written them off, and I mean that's the most silliest thing you can do. But Brendan needs to stop making these silly comments because that isn't helping, and it's something he's been doing, Ryan, since the summer. And for me, he needs to stop doing it, mate.
No, listen, you're crazy to write Celtic off. It's crazy. We've been behind before in leagues with a few points and stuff and pulled it back. So that fans on me anyway, and people that I know that I spoke to over the last few weeks as well, fans are no happy just because we're sitting second or we're behind, or it's just everything at the club. We keep saying about it's going to turn, and I'm like you, JP. I thought that was going to be Sunday. I generally did think. I don't think I said on the podcast a prediction, but my own personal feeling was we were going to get a reaction for the Motherwell game and going absolutely take Dundee for I thought a pumping. Didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
They gave us that. We get bullied out of the park, but you can't say like half. Listen, we could turn up on Sunday. I hope it's a turning point, and we go and absolutely annihilate Hearts or just win. And then we go, right, there we go, right, let's kick on now. I think the game in Thursday is massive, mate, before Hearts, because if we don't win, it's going to, I think one of the commenters says it there, it's going to dampen the mood of the fans again, the players, the manager. It's more
Can it get any worse though, Ryan? Can the mood with the fans become even worse? Can it get any worse when what it already is?
If we don't win games at all, mate, I can't even believe I'm even talking about us potentially being 8 points behind and out of Europe potentially. I know we're not going to be official at Europe, but if we don't beat Sturm Graz, it's an absolute miracle to qualify for Europa League, even in the playoff stage.
Would it be a bad thing though, Ryan, for us to drop out of that as well? All things being said and the way things are going?
When I say it's a bad thing, no, but you still want to perform. I
understand what you mean. No, I'm the same as you. I want us to do better. I want us to play well and get the victory and everything else. But do you think that could become a distraction rather than what would you rather? I mean, what would you rather? Would you rather, if I said to you now, have a choice of Thursday and Sunday, what one do you want to win more?
Obviously, I'm going to say two, but if I had an absolute choice and I got into my head and go, right, Ryan, what do you want? I'd rather beat Hearts on Sunday. Because the league's your bread and butter. We can't finish second this year because I think it's qualified. I don't know if it's this year or next year. It's qualifiers for either Europa League or the Conference League in a year or two time. So next year, the year after, things are all changing and because of the coefficient.
That's what I'm saying. That's the way our fans are thinking, Ryan. It's a fear.
No, I'm no fear. I'm just disappointed. I'm really. As much as listen, people can call me spoiled, entitled, whatever else, but for me, it's just standards for me, right? For the infrastructure that we should be having in this elite football club that like to call ourselves world-class basics, as the board called us, and we've got this brilliant manager, the players that are still here, international football players, the money that we've got at disposal to go and progress and help the squad, as much as people might say, you've no divine right, but theoretically, Celtic should be winning this league. They should be winning the league and they should be going far in every cup. I know that's in football and you can get defeats. Listen, being there myself when you play the good teams, you beat half in the league and not out in the cup, and it happens. But
do you think Brendan's just pissed off, Ryan? Do you think he's just pissed off that he's maybe got a Honda Civic and he's cutting about in his Tom Ford?
It might be, mate. I don't know if he's got and it's whatever's happening in the teams, mate, it's obviously affecting him. But I do want to touch on one or two things about the game as well. Obviously, realistically as well, right? Fair last year as well. I think for Christmas onwards, right? So this isn't just the last few games that we've not performed, right? Last year, between I think it was Christmas or January, end of the season, we dropped 18 points in a calendar, 6 months. That's losing league material. And it's kind of the performances have carried on, right? This season, the last 5 games, have won 1 game. We've scored 6 out of 11, right? We look at them across the water. They've only won 1 game. They're only 8 points behind us. We get beat Saturday. They win. It's 4 or 5. Dap again. They're calling it's no
If we
neighbour
get beat, by the
near.
way, if we get beaten Saturday, I'll be up in arms. I thought the game
No,
Sunday.
Sunday, sorry. Like I say, for me, as much as I'm not going to sit here and say the league's done, because I'm hoping and I'm praying, I'm still thinking, if you get to January and it's still a level gameplay that you're above them, you hopefully won't spend in January, get out of the line. But if Hearts win on Sunday, they're favourites. Forget St Rangers. If Hearts got 8 points clear, they're favourites. They'll have momentum, they'll have the tails between their legs, and see how they go and see how we react, see how Rangers react to other teams. We've only scored 4 goals. Nathan is the top goal scorer with 4 goals. The game is Sunday, right, with 82. I think somebody says 70, but some of the stats that I've seen, just the things I looked at, it was 82.1% possession. With 700 passes in the game. Dundee only had 151. So that tells you that there is this horseshoe, tippy-tappy. It's leading to nowhere. With 506 passes in Dundee's half, with 285 in the final third, came to nothing. With 34 crosses, it came to nothing. 12 corners, 22 shots, and 3 on target. 3 on target. Now, we can talk about the board spending money. That's on the players. That's not the manager. That's the players. The players are not putting the balls in the box to the strikers. They're not doing enough to help you in that. Listen, is he good enough to take Celtic forward? He probably isn't. He's a stopgap, right? But he's not getting any service whatsoever. We're 2024. As much as we can blame the manager, right? We can say he's got to change tactics, he's got to do this, he's got to have enthusiasm. I get that, right? Granted. But some of the players, man, we need to be realistic, lads. Some of the standard of player, sorry, lads, females as well, girls, fan base, we need to be realistic here. Some of the players are not good enough. And they're beginning away with it because they've been winning trophies. But players have no really, other teams have not really been, they've been dropping points elsewhere. Guys like Yang, sorry, done, not good enough. Can't play again. Ralston, done, not good enough. It can't happen. I don't care if AJ is going to have 5 injections for a game. Sorry, AJ, I know it's painful and it might harm your life, but you've got to play, son. Or Donovan, at least. I actually was backing up Ralston a few weeks ago, saying that no, he's experienced, he's got to play in front of Donovan because experienced European games. No. Kicking the ball at the park. I've never seen professional players just kick the ball at the park under no pressure. Carter Vickers, for the last 2 to 3 months, he's been really poor. I've always said he's the best centre-back since Van Dijk. No proving that now. I'm not giving him as much yet because for me, he's got a lot of credit in the bank in terms of how well he's been. For the money we got for was 6 months, a lot of money, but for me,
His OGs are racking up an orange.
No, I get that. But for me, Vickers is I'm criticising him, but I'm just hoping that he can get back to his best, right? Like the goals, I'll touch on it as well once you come back in, mate. But for the second goal, Scales, again, I know he's been apparently he's been our best defender if you want to look at stats and maybe your eyes, but for me, again, this is just my opinion, anybody else's. For me, that shows you where we are, because my opinion, Liam Scales shouldn't have been that team in the first 11. That's just my opinion. And then you've Tierney, who's underperforming for the wages he's getting. For me, I was a big fan of him. He's got to do a lot more. McGregor, I'm not going to go through all the individuals, JP, but there's certain players in the team that are not good enough. You've got Johnny Kenny coming off the bench to help you. Again, it's no on him, but it's these players don't need to step up, mate. And I'm actually struggling to see where the form turns. What does he do? Does he go direct? Does he go 2 up front? 4-4-2 direct? Just go long ball direct? What does he do? Does he go 3-5-2? Does he go 1 up front with 2 behind? Maybe I don't know what he does. Just he's got to change it. But one thing I want to put to you
this is where I've spoke to you before. On you go. Sorry, finish off. Then I'll come in.
Here's one for you right now. We touched on. You're talking about things he says. This is not only players. This is on him. For me, it's crazy, right? He says that they don't have the quality or they don't have the know-how to be in a low block. So what are you working on every day in training? This is the teams you're playing every single week. Every single week, teams are going to go to Celtic Park, or they're going to go, if it's Easter Road, Dundee, St Mirren, they're going to try and camp in, get into counter-attack, maybe no Hearts, they'll maybe try and attack you, but Every team does it. Every team does this defensive style play against Celtic and sometimes Rangers. So how can you no motor that down? So what you doing in training? That, for me, JP, that's him telling us that whatever they're doing, they can't do it. They're not carrying out what he's doing, because how can you not carry it a low block? I beg with belief, mate. For me, that's criminal that he said that.
Well,
That
for
the
me,
Honda
Ryan,
Civic thing, mate. Crazy.
I go back to the Kyra, the game at Parkhead, when the game was crying out for Celtic to put on another forward in the moment, and he didn't. Now, his substitutes sometimes this season have just been man for man. At the weekend, he changed he changed it at half time. They went with two up top, but he didn't really. It looked like he was doing that, but he didn't really, because any actual move to the right hand side really of that, and he was just sort of inside James Forrest, as if he'd made up that role for him. That's just the way it came across. But what really gets me is the craftiness. Now, I'm going to give you an example here of good management, right? And this is a guy who I think he's a decent manager. I don't think he's Brendan Rodgers' level. He's certainly not managed at that level. So you look at Derek McInnes, right? And Derek McInnes takes his heart side to Ibrox early in the season. Now, he tells a story. He's talking to Cy Ferry. He tells a story. And he's got a team organised, and he's either got it wrote down or it's on his laptop or something, you know. I'll come to Mark's point in a wee second, mate. And he moves Harry Milne from left back, who is a natural left back, to go up against Makoma over at right wing. So he moved him for left back, but he only done it because of height and physicality and speed to sort of force Makoma the other way in a press. Now, to me, that's people, you'll be looking at that and you're going, that's batshit crazy stuff. You know, you're moving a left back to put him at right wing. But look at the game back. Go and watch that game back. It really, really paid off. And it really got Hearts that. It helped to get Hearts that result at Ibrox. Or the big coos, as we like to call it. So, and it's all to do with, it was a left-footed player coming in off the right-hand side. Now, that's something Celtic have been crying out for since we sold Nicholas Kuhn. Hearts had that at their disposal. Now, that's just a brief example, Ryan, of man management and motivation there to give to your team. Now, surely, if Derek McInnes, who, like I say, is a decent manager, can come up with something like that, why in God's earth can Brendan Rodgers not come up with something like that? Now, what would be wrong with even trying to put Sirachi at that side, coming in on his left-hand side? He's fast, he's dynamic, he can move with the ball. I'm not asking him to skin every player, but see that kind of movement, Ryan? That would force something different for that side, because if he even does something like that on Sunday, Derek McInnes is going to be like, what's going on? I wasn't expecting that, and I never set up to play like this. Derek McInnes is probably setting his team up, mate, thinking that Yanga Forrest is going to be playing there. So why no throw a spanner in there? And or even see if you want to go for height. Why not play, I don't know, Dane Murray at right back and move Alistair Johnson one higher to give you that height, physicality, but then you've also got the athleticism of Alistair Johnston, even for 60 minutes of the game, Ryan. So this is what I come back to all the time with Brendan, Ryan, about the craftiness from him, mate. He seems to have lost that element of enthusiasm at that side he's thinking just now. And it's as if his head's clouded at the moment with maybe things that are happening off the field. Who knows, mate? Maybe things are going on in his personal life. And maybe the fact that someone in the hierarchy decided to fucking do the dirty on him and put out a false report to their mates in the media, who then run a story with the Sun paper, and it turns out to be one pile of bullshit. Sorry if I said a couple of swear words there, but I do feel strongly, you know. But Wally's comment there about the turgid possession, I don't mind possession, because this has been an onward thing with Brendan. We've always been a possessional-based team. But if we come back to the Celtic that, played the way we did in the USA last season, Wally, you can have all the possession you want, mate. But the thing is, if we start playing football like that, mate, we'll absolutely destroy teams we're coming up against. Why? Because that level of football's elite. That level of football is why Celtic have been so successful for many a seasons. So, as I say, it's the craftiness, Ryan, I keep coming back to, mate. That's what's lost just now. But his comments in the media are doing my head in, mate. He's dropping comments here, there and everywhere. But that one with the Honda Civic, mate, that takes a bullet. Guys like Martin O'Neill are telling him he's wrong. Charlie McGrew doesn't know why he said it. When I start to hear things like that happening, mate, what's the players thinking? What's the guys in the training field thinking, mate? They must be thinking the same. Because if they're not, then, yeah, it's beggars belief. But Brendan, I know there's ultimate failings throughout the football club. Brendan's takes the bulk of that, though, because he's the man at the side of the touchline. He's the man that's in charge of the football team. He keeps telling us in pressers that they're in control of this. They're in control. Well, I'll tell you what, seen Sunday, it didn't look like you were in control of anything. The only thing you might be in control of just now is his bills. Because if Hearts won on Sunday, he'll be shiting himself.
Aye. I think people need to actually be realistic here. Hearts could potentially beat us on Sunday. Listen, mate, we've actually done all right to Tynecastle the last few years, apart from, I think, the game that they beat us to end his run. I think we've been all right recently. But if we go with the same formation and the same players, then it could be a long day. We might still win the game, but unless these players get a spark, I think I don't think you can go this full 3-3, JP. Change some of the players. Go to, even if it's two up front. For me, I love the old-fashioned 4-4-2. I think you get a defensive side and you get the attacking side. I think
he's not going to do that. If he's going to go with two, he'll play a free to back.
But like I've said to you, if anybody says that these players can't play a formation, then they shouldn't be playing football at that level. If you can't play a formation, then I'm sorry, man. It's I played every formation and you can name. I didn't care if it was a 4-4-2, 4-3-3, 4-5-1. It shouldn't matter. You still run, you still chase, you still harry, you still tackle, you still do the same job. But
I thought you were going to use a wee Barry there and just start rhyming off all sorts of numbers there.
No.
Barry let us all know after that night Barry let us all know that night after the Europa. He was a mathematician.
But he's got to change something, mate. He's definitely got to change some of the players. Now, the only thing I can maybe say to some of these guys that are not performing, I would maybe say to them, even Carl McGregor, your Hatatis, your Vickers, etc.
Hold on a minute, Ryan. Hold on a wee minute. Plunge has made a comment there. Plunge, you do know we have met you. You are aware that we have met you. You already look like Victor Meldrew. And the way your comments on here You do sound like him, I know, mate. So there's nobody else taking that part apart from you, my friend. On you go, Ryan. Carry on.
I know, but as much as some of these guys haven't been playing well, and I'm saying you need to change them, right? It could be one of the ones where if it is McGregor, Patatis, Negrin, for me, he's last 2 games, I know he's done all right with the Community Motherwell, but for me, fought to receive. Some of these guys were not playing well. Right, you've got one last chance. Go and prove you're still quality. You're still go and pull this back Sunday. Go and get a victory and let's see. Because if they don't, then 100% some of these players need like gain Engel. No, I'm not saying Engels is the best thing in sliced bread, right? Can run against Motherwell. Good pass about Leisha, helps change the game. I'm going to swear now, 8 fucking minutes. 8 fucking minutes to come on the park, change the game. It 2-0 down.
Yeah, no.
But what's the point? What is the point in putting, if you want to call him, well, if you look at Ausberg, he was classed as a defensive, if you want to call it defensive playmaker, that's what they say they was, right? And then you put on 2-0 to go. It screams panic mode, right? We'll just shove him on now. And listen, people say McKibbins. For me, look, McKibbins no starter for Celtic. No, for me, never in a million years. For me against Motherwell, he showed that. For me, he's an impact player off the bench. Good enough for that. For £1 million, cannot complain a job. Can't complain, right? People go, oh, Ryan paid £11 million for Engels. I get that. But last year he was one of our main players. Wait, I get the Rangers situation. He's not played well against Rangers, right? So don't play him then. But European games, he was really, really good. Some games in Scotland, he was really good. His
Big
best
question for
season,
you, Ryan.
What's that? James,
I'm going to say no.
I'm not going to say no, James, but I'm saying you'll see Sunday.
No, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. There's too many in the team, I think, got his back.
You'll see Thursday.
Look at the goalkeeper. He's played under him. Kelechi. McGregor's his pal. Tierney's with him, I know. So, nah. I think we're still a bit for that for me.
We keep saying these guys, but we're going to get a reaction. Before, after we drew against Hibs, the Motherwell reaction, and then so there's going to be one at some point. A proper reaction. To that last time.
We're going to get a one away from home, I know, mate. That's what I keep saying.
I think you'll see Thursday. And if you don't see Thursday and you don't see Sunday, then I'm going to start potentially saying people could be right that the players are maybe no performing from anywhere, or the message are getting across. But one thing, but I know we're saying, probably we touched on the goals, but we can maybe do it for a minute or two. But why not play Yamada? Give him a shot. Give him a shot. We've not seen him. Go and let him prove a point in the mirror. Play him. See how he is. Try something. If it's Simpson Pussy and with Vickers or in with Scales, do something. Because these guys might actually want to go and prove a point. They're hungry. They've got desire to go and play. They're sitting on the bench. They're not playing. Sitting in the stands. Not playing. Try something. What have we got to lose? Well, these guys are normally performing. So if somebody else is in and doesn't do the same job, then it's the same. Do you think
Brendan's now looking at that prospect, Ryan? I know you've named a couple of names there, but maybe not directly naming each guy. But do you think Brendan is now looking at those avenues now?
If he's not, mate, he's not doing his job properly. It's as simple as that, in my opinion. If you're not looking at other guys in the team that can maybe help you, or maybe he can come off the bench and help you, then he's not doing his job properly, JP. No, I'm not saying Yamada. Has he looked amazing? No. Has he looked really bad? No. Yeah, against Rangers, he's done all right, by the way. Unlucky, his touch was unlucky for that, or he was through and goal and scored. But he's not done anything bad, and Mura's not done anything. I'm not saying these guys deserve to play, but when the team's not playing well, sometimes bringing somebody out the cold to prove a point might actually help you. But Simpson Pussy playing Man City, and now sitting in the BT's bench, the B team. I don't know how. For me, it's just about, we still need to believe in these players. We still need to believe in the manager, but they need to start performing and they need to start getting victories. If they don't, like Mark said, and we spoke here, your season could go for that to just, it could dwindle away. And I can't believe I'm even saying that. Because 2 or 3 weeks ago, I'm thinking, right, we've got unbeaten here, we're doing all right, we're not playing well, but we're still winning, right, but we need to perform, and then, right, Dundee, Jesus. But Aye, on the goals as well, mate. The goals are, that's the only manager. Like, Scales, no good enough for that. And then obviously Carter Vickers, he's got blocked, but he's got to be stronger. But one thing I want to touch on for you, mate, before obviously we end the show and stuff like that. Why, I noticed it, I put it in the chat, I don't know if anybody else has noticed it, right? I maybe no, because I've just looked at it. See for the corner, why isn't anybody doing the posts? Why have we stopped that? See if somebody's on the post, that's not a goal. That's getting chested, it's getting kneed away. Why have we stopped simple defensive marking?
I noticed that. I noticed that earlier when you said that, Ryan. But see if you look back at the first goal.
Is that something that's just away for the game, or is that just something that's negligence? Because
no. See if you look back at the first goal when the corner's happening, Tierney is on the post, and then he moves.
2 posts, like 2 of them. Anytime I know football, I know I've not played football in 7, 8 years, whatever it is, right? So I get football moves on and tactics move up. But anytime I play football, mate, even if I played charity games and all that and stuff, there's always 2 guys in the post. Always. Anytime I play football, I've always put 2 guys on the post. So for me to do that stops that goal. Stops it. Point blank, even though Vickers misses it. So I don't know what you think of that, mate.
No, I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. My biggest, what angers me most, Ryan, is watching our players being blocked and not doing anything about it.
No strong enough.
Yeah, no, just powder puff and no doing anything about it. Carter Vickers is in no man's land, Ryan. He's not even blocked half, mate. He's just in no man's land for that goal. He's not even with his man. He's ball watching. He's slow. And Kieran Tierney, he's left us wide open. Now, that's not down to I was unlucky or that's just down to being shite. And I know you're laughing, Ryan, but that's just down to being shite. In the moments, Dundee wanted it more. We were bullied all over the pitch, Ryan. It wasn't just in those moments. Look at the one with the young boy where he hods off CCV and McCown and then he gets a foul. Ryan, he's in at a touchline. He celebrates like he scored a goal.
See, sorry, Karen, it's on your point. I'll let you back in. Does it not worry you that we're actually saying that these guys, it looks like Dundee were wanting more, they were stronger, they were physical? For me, that's worrying, mate, that they're no. This is what I'm saying about us being too nice. I think we're all technically good players, we're all nice on the ball, but see when it gets to the trenchy stuff, mate, and you've got to put your board in the line, you've got to make that, have we really got it, mate? This is where I think we'll prove it now.
Yeah, I know. Typhon McFlustery's comment there, so your benchmark KT is shite, JP. Well, up to noon, Typhon, he's been absolutely dire. There you go. He's gave Celtic nothing. I actually can't believe he went away in that international breaker. He came on as a sub for scrapings of the 2 games. He's not fit enough. He's nowhere near fit enough to go a run of games. You can't trust him to play the next 5, 6 games in a row because he's not fit enough to do it. If he plays on Thursday night, Sirachi will need to play on Sunday. There's my thoughts. Or vice versa. Because Tierney will need to pick one of the 2 and what game he can play on. Aye, there's Green for goes. Sirachi captain Uruguay. So,
yep.
You know, for me, Sirachi's every bit capable of playing the next 2 games back to back. Tierney's no, and that's my biggest annoying for this. You know, Tierney's no fit. He's played in every single game we've played. He's either come on as a sub or he's started the game. He's done the whole pre-season. Why is he no fit, Ryan? What's going on?
Is there something that we've not been told about an injury? Or
that's just what I'm saying, mate. So, you know, I'm now starting to see why he wasn't getting a game at Arsenal. But to answer that question, and I don't think I'm speaking out of turn when I say this, Tierney's not been good enough. He's been far fit. And he looks, I don't know if it's just me watching the lad, see when he's in the team, he just looks out of sorts. He looks as if he's not comfortable. He's no possessing the right quality he's not possessing the right qualities when we need it. And the majority of the other times, Ryan, he's blowing out his arse. Am I watching something different, Ryan?
I thought the first few games of the season he was actually all right. I thought Ibrox he was actually all right, apart from his slip. I thought Gisama didn't get really by him at all. Nobody's really targeting the left-hand side, and I think that's maybe his presence. But in terms of, is it the way we're playing that stopped me from going this flying fullback? I don't know. But he's definitely not the Kieran Taylor that I thought I was getting. I'm not saying that he's finished or he's honking. He's not going through a good time now. Be that if it's fitness, confidence, whatever it is, but he's definitely no fit, mate. You can see it. He's no flying in all cylinders. He's not going through tackles the way he did. And at any level of football, mate, you played football yourself. Anybody, even fives, even if you played fives, sevens, if you're not fully fit and you're going to tackles half-hearted, then it's you going to get hurt. You can't go into a tackle half-hearted. Now, I can't stand, I'm going to say it, shite bags. Can't stand them. See players that, like, a captain does it a few times in games. See that pulling out tackles, JP? I can't handle that.
Yeah, it's all half-hearted, mate. I don't like it.
See if you get hurt. Unfortunately, it's football. But deal with it. Go through the ball. You're there to win. Don't pull out a tackle. And
I never thought I'd see a comment in the Celtic fans' comments like that. Katie's a downgrading Taylor.
I've had a few people saying that on our chats as well. And listen, I will
agree with you. Semtex, it would do, in my opinion, I think the team misses Greg Taylor massively.
But what I will say is, I agree with you. If Taylor was here with Tierney, I did say it before he left, I wouldn't have minded that. It would have been fine, absolutely fine. All to them, but we don't know it behind the scenes.
Do you think Greg Taylor would be playing more just now in this circumstance?
It could be, mate. I think it could be. But again, we can only talk at that point in time. Now we can talk hindsight and say, aye, he would. But at that time, I'm thinking, everything we're hearing about Tierney, that he's fit, he's from back, or brilliant, here we go. Taylor, I keep him as the second choice, or alternate to him. I was fine with that. But as much as we're all saying we potentially miss him in the team and the squad, Greg Taylor left because Greg Taylor wanted to leave. So we need to put it out there. Greg Taylor.
Steve James is saying there about the Maeda missing Taylor on the left. I think that's compensated with a relationship that Sirachi and Tanecki have built up in the last couple of games they've played together. Because I think they two link very, very well together, the same way as Maeda and Taylor did. I'm
not going to say he's honking, Typhoon, because he's no honking. He's just no fit. He's no honking.
No, he's no. Taylor's no honking. He's no honking. Listen, this is. Let me put this on the record now. This is a Celtic team who's out of form. This is a team who, dare I say it, they've gave us their all for many a years. And, you know, they've won numerous of trophies and and I'm afraid we're at this point now where they've just went off form. For me, that's basically because see if it was one or two of them, Ryan, you could probably go. See if it's one or two of them, by the way, you could go right. He's not been playing well. It's a fucking nucleus of them all, mate, that have been really off it for so long, and they're really off form. And yes, there are things that are not harmonising off the pitch. There's been comments tonight about the board not being at it. Brendan Rodgers, he's not been at it. There's been failings in the club as well. There's no getting away from any of that. This is a team that are off form just now. Now, getting back to the most important part, for me, this is when they need us. Aye, definitely, Ryan, 100%, mate.
That's what happens when Celtic lose, Ryan.
I'm one of the kind of guys, mate. As Mel Gibson and Danny Glover and Lethal Weapon says, I just don't give a fuck, mate. But
Put it in. Put it in.
I'll ping it to you once we come off. That's about £4, will But yeah, as I say, it's the Celtic squad are off form as a collective, and there's numerous of things that have happened at the club. We're not getting away from that. Is it okay to be off form in football? Well, I would say yes, but Celtic's got a demand and a will to win, and the fans have got and it's pressure and everything that comes under. But it can happen. You seen Man City go through the mill last season, and they had guys like, Erling Haaland in their squad under a manager in Pep Guardiola. They weren't at it. Unfortunately, in football, it does happen, I'm afraid. It doesn't matter what you spend and how much money you've got and what's on the pitch, and these things can all happen. The culminating factors, the team being off form, and sometimes it's not always the best to go and chop your manager and start again with that one, and sometimes it's better to stay together like Man City have with the collective and try and go again by bringing new talent into the squad, and Man City have done that with them. But that comment there, there is an expectation, but that comes with the uniform at Celtic, I'm afraid. But the reality is, this is a team that's not on form just now. But what I will say, Ryan, is this is where they need us as fans. They need us to try and stay with them in this difficult period to help get them through it. Because if we become toxic, mate, and start going against them, and that's not going to help them either. Definitely not. If anything, it's going to put them even in more of a downer, start affecting them mentally. We've seen not so long ago here in Glasgow, mate, of a club that's full of toxicity and, what can happen there. So we've got a big role in this as well as Celtic fans to really help them get through this and be there for them. I've always said to you, mate, see if you're having a difficult period at home and your wife or your husband's not quite there, you're there to be supportive. You're not there, you don't just, your wife's maybe doing the best and doing this and doing that. You don't just put her on the bin and go and get yourself an onion.
Someday.
That's not what you do, mate. You're there.
Someday.
Well, I know what you're saying, but in the reality terms is, mate, you don't just, if somebody in your family's going through a bad time, you try and be as supportive as you can. Well, see, as Celtic fans and any football fans, you try and get them through it. You try and support them. You try and be there for them. The last thing we need to do is turn against them. Yes, we can all have opinions and we can all have we can all have criticisms when we see the team. But it's important, I feel, Ryan, not to go too far that way. Because if you go too far that way, you then forget about what the reality is in your role as a fan. And that says, mate, I think it's difficult that we all want the same thing. We all want Celtic to be brilliant all the time, Ryan, and sometimes it's just no possible, mate.
Oh, you listen, Thursday night and then on Sunday, we're still back the team, still sing songs, still back the team. Of course, don't just. I know we're only going through the game. Obviously, we're criticising during the game, but if we're going to stop me going to games, supporting them.
Amazing. See when you see a comment, it's amazing what must go through people's heads. Like, if you see a comment, are there problems at home, JP? Well, there is a problem at home. Fucking me. Probably me. Come on up and tap my door and you'll find it.
No, but listen, you still support them. Still, listen, this is where they need their support. We still back them. Obviously, on here, you've got to criticise. When criticise, you praise. We've sat here for years praising them and how good they are, and they still are really good players, but they are going through a bad run of form, a bad run of performances. Just there's a wee cloud under us now, and the players need to get through that, the manager needs to get through it, we need to get through it as a collective, as a fan base. As much as we're still going to have our things about the board and everything else and all this, but we still need to continue on the park to support the team. So whatever the collective do next and what the fans do next, don't make it hurt the players, because that's, listen, I'm not saying that it will hurt them, but don't do it if it's going to give you any negative press and add to it. Just do things that you need to do, but do it if it's not going to affect the players or affect that side of it. So, but no, look, at the end of the day, we support them. We still continue to support them. We've got a big game in Thursday that we need to win, and then we've got a big game on Sunday, which is monumental, to go and get a victory. And again, but you put it on a big, massive positive spin. It's a game to go and shut everybody up. Go and put a statement out. Go and if it's play Park, Hearts after Park, or go and put a good performance, a good victory, and go, right, here we go. All this negative press, all the fans against us, right, let's go, here we go. So spin it on that way. You've got a massive chance to go and shut everybody up and say, listen, Hearts are doing well, but listen, you're still with top dogs. That's the way I began the game, JP. I know first is European football, but to me, I'll be going, right, let's go show people here. We've got Tynecastle, brilliant atmosphere, fans on us. Let's go and start our stuff. Let's go and show every Scottish football that we're still the top dogs. That's my attitude. That's the way I'll be going. I wouldn't be going negative. We're going, right, yes, we're behind, but let's go and prove Scottish football live on telly. All the Scottish football we watch and see how Hearts do and how poor we are. Let's go and put. That's the way I would. For the rest of the week, obviously, Thursday we'll see how it goes, but that's a spin I want to put. No, let's go and put out a statement. But aye, we'll see how we go on Thursday, mate, and obviously we'll take care of Sunday. But we need two good, if you want to call it, 6 points, 3 in the Europe and 3. I think it's going to go a long way this season, mate. If we don't, then I don't know what to think about what we're going to talk about, but that's something that could be negative, but we want to be positive and hopefully go and get 2 victories, mate, over the next few days.
Yeah, and it's just a shame that both have came the same week, because they are 2 separate entities. You know, one's in a European competition, the other one's obviously and domestically. So, but it is a shame that, you know, that pressure's now with them in the same week. But you're right, Ryan. What a great time to, especially the league game, what a great time to show everyone, listen, Hearts might be doing well, but here, this is why we're the number one. This is why we are top dogs here. Because of this, boom, there you go, 3-0. I'm not saying that's going to be the score, by the way. If anybody in the comments is saying there's JP predicting again that Celtic are going to win 3-0, I'm just giving you for instance, because Celtic have done it before. They've went out and they've done it before. But yeah, as I say, I'm the same as you, Ryan. I've still got belief in our manager. I've still got belief in the players. I've still got belief in, to turn this around. Why? I think they've gave us numerous reasons why, and it's through time. They've showed us they're winners, and they've showed us they can do it when the pressure's on. And I love Celtic coming from a position where we are chasing something. And just for that reason, as GG says, the players can use it as a motivation. Alistair Johnson is back amongst the group. I would imagine now the next 2 games he's going to play minutes now. He gives the team a massive lift. It'll be like a new signing in the team. It takes away some of that massive discrepancy that's on the right-hand side of the field. Tony Ralston can't go over the halfway line more than twice in a game, otherwise he takes massive nosebleeds. That is a shame. He's just, unfortunately, he's not good enough. Alistair Johnson lives in the opposition 18-yard box. He likes to get in about it. He can score goals. He's physical. He can run. He's got massive threat in him when he plays. As Ryan says earlier, teams don't target that area of the field. There's a reason why. Because these guys are so rugged in what they do. But that's all we've got time for this fine Tuesday evening. thank you very much to everybody that sent in your comments. It's been nice having a chat with you, even the Hearts fan that joined us earlier. And any the other side of Glasgow supporters that are maybe watching in the comments, you've maybe decided not to comment, maybe looking for something to do on a Tuesday night due to the fact that your team aren't in the Champions League or anything. Yeah, cheers for joining us. Cheers for everybody else that's tuned in with us from far afield as well. Cheers to yourself, Ryan, for coming on and having a chat with us in this wee Honda Civic that we're in now. Hopefully we get the revs up over the next 2 games, mate. We can start motoring on.
Aye, because if we don't, I think Costco will be getting a new batch of bleach getting ordered. So can't be having that now. We want to drink the good stuff, the champagne, not the bleach. So aye, just please win on Thursday and Sunday, because I don't want to damage my body anymore.
Hold on a minute. We're just about to say Cherry Owen, Sligo boy puts in this. Get a hair transplant, both of yous. Sligo, send us in a photo of you. Because see, normally when you see these kind of comments, it's usually baldy guys that say this.
Why is a baldy guy shaving his baldy bits?
Is it because he's not a baldy guy? Oh, he is baldy.
He is baldy.
But no, I'd love to see a photo of Sligo boy there and see what he's really like. Because I reckon you've not got hair like Ozzy Osbourne, that's for sure.
Aye. God rest him, he's passed away, hasn't he?
He passed away recently, yeah. But
God rest him.
He's definitely not got hair like George Cadetti, that's for sure.
Silver
It's usually
Fox.
baldy guys that say this. It's usually baldy guys that say that.
To be fair, Sligo boy, I'm getting a Silver Fox, I'm getting grey hair, man. So that is what it is, man. We deal with it. That's what's the Celtic the last few weeks has gave us this.
Well, I lost my hair when I was 16. What a card game that was, by the way, I'll tell you. That's how I gave up gambling after that, right? I wasn't wanting to take any more gambles, mate. I wasn't lost any other parts of my body. But no, it'd be nice to see your Barnet Sligo boy before you start slagging anybody else. He could be one of the guys that you seen grow through his hair.
Bet he's got a pure brilliant hairline and everything, man. Pure combs.
I bet he has. I bet he's got an Eddie Murphy line number out of Coming to America, ain't he, man? Nah, I wouldn't do that to myself, mate. I'm already getting slagged in now, Sligo boy, and you want me to do that to myself? You off your head?
Susan Boyle.
Must be off your nut, man. The only thing I look like with Susan Boyle's my beard, mate. That's the only thing me and Susan have got in common. Saying that, she dreamed a dream as well, so did I at one point, so, aye. But, no, we'll be waiting on that photo, mate, don't you worry. Slagging my hair, how dare you? That's all my own hair, I know. See what I mean about these commenters, Ryan? I think it's alright to say things, Steve, and it's no.
Just as well we can take a bit of banter, mate. Just as well we can go with it.
I'm about to start greeting man, he's slagging my hair. Oh my goodness. But for the time being, folks, take care. Hail, hail, and we'll see you again on the next one.
See you later.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Sets up Larson here. Larsson. Oh, he's in! Henrik Larsson! That is sensational! O'Reilly, how about that for a pass? Jota! How about that for a finish? That is Jota for you!
In for Henrik Larsson, and Rodgers! His first goal for Celtic!
Here is Shunsuke Nakamura!